As I believe a bard once sang, war, who, good God, y'all, what is it good for? Well, in aspect to the Tory civil war, that is, if we're lucky, kicks off early, but he's probably due to start 5-6 weeks in time. Like I say, obviously, as I said, watch for the t-shirt. I'm still on holiday. I'm doing this on the 26th, and I can tell you now, if the Tory civil war kicks off early, oh my, is this going to be fun? Because just I think a few hours ago now, on the threads, UK Politics posted a tweet, or a thread, shall we say, not a tweet, from a, quote, senior Conservative source who said that Rishi Sunak cannot afford any more gaffes between now and the general election. And bear in mind what we saw in 3 days. Absolute gaff after gaff after gaff. And the only day there wasn't a gaff was on Saturday, because that's when Rishi Sunak was having a day off. Even the Sunday announcement to have a national service, that he was bringing it back to all the good boys and girls, went down like an absolute lead balloon. And I would not be surprised. Bear in mind, I'm releasing this a week from that initial announcement. Would not surprise me if that gets dropped entirely from the Conservatives. But I can guarantee you'll know about be filling me in. And trust me, I will be keeping my eye open as well during all this. I'll be filling in and commenting on with YouTube shorts and maybe video. Maybe I'll even do a live stream here and there, depending what happens. But of course, I will always be keeping my eye on, even when I am on holiday, just what's going on. But needless to say, there will have been plenty of gaffes this week. I can almost guarantee it. Allow me to Nostradamus this, in the crystal ball. Again, I still need to get one of those at some point. My crystal ball. At some point this week, Sunak will have yet another gaffe. It's almost too easy. But you're here, and of course, probably enticed by the title of the countdown to this Tory civil war. What could cause this civil war to kick off early? How is it only going to be infinitely more beneficial to us, not only pre-general election, but post-general election, for these guys to start arguing amongst themselves and just start absolutely having a bit of blue on blue with each other? And no, I'm not talking about your dad's blue on blue. We're talking about good old-fashioned Tory blue on blue. So, as always, thank you very much to those people who do help and support the channel. There is, of course, the Patreon page down below, the Buy Me Coffee link, where you can, buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, there's the Pony Club down below as well. So, what could kick this off? Well, you've probably heard me talk during, like I say, my past couple of videos and etc., of something called a personal manifesto. And you're like, what is a personal manifesto after all? Isn't that, a document that you would see released maybe by the main party during a general election time? Well, that's probably what is going to kick this off. Because imagine you are now Rishi Sunak and you are trying to sell the country on your, I hesitate to say vision, but there you go, on your new vision, and that's your manifesto. The big problem is there's this Conservative here, that Conservative down there, and even that Conservative saying, I'm going to try and save myself by, first of all, obviously keeping Rishi Sunak at a distance. And we've talked about that a bit before, that, trust me, if Sunak turns up in some of these Conservative constituencies, I can guarantee you some of these Conservatives are going to be mysteriously absent. Or, should we say, keeping as far away from the cameras as possible. Sure, they'll be there in the background, but they'll be as far away as possible from Rishi Sunak. Because they will know by now associating him is incredibly toxic. And bear in mind, just a couple of weeks back, there was the report from, and I think it was from a number of senior Tories who were really angry at the backbiting, the civil warring, the infighting that was going on, because they had heard and they had said, if you want a future in the Conservative Party, it would not probably be a bad thing to have a go at Rishi Sunak. After all, after the general election, saying you stood up to Rishi Sunak or you tried to warn him off this bad policy, you know, is probably going to be quite a good look. You know, it improves your Tory street cred in many ways. So that's what we're going to see. So I would not be surprised if you see Conservative MPs that are running for election release their personal manifestos. Now, what's going to be in these personal manifestos? Well, I expect them to be very, very local. Sure, there might be vague stuff on a national level, maybe stuff about immigration, economy, but it'll all be very, very vague when they talk about it. But on local issues, I would not be surprised if you see maybe even a replication, a regurgitation, or maybe even a rewriting of local Conservative sort of manifestos that they put around during the local election. Because after all, if you can't win on national issues, might as well try standing on your street cred as an MP. After all, what did you do for the last person who lived down, I don't know, Bucket Street at number 32? Oh, I did that thing for him. I answered that question and solved his problem. Expect suddenly to see a lot of those stories about Tories talking about their personal connection to their constituencies and all these things that they've done for X named individual living at number 32 Bucket Avenue. Wouldn't surprise me to see that. And of course, the second that starts, that then messes with Rishi Sunak's national message, because that's the one he wants to try and sell. And then this could potentially lead to maybe CCHQ trying to censor this particular Tory, but being very, very reluctant, shall we say, to actually maybe remove the whip to stop this person running as a Tory. Who knows? That could spark a lot. That could even spark a early Tory civil war. And oh boy, will that be fun. But afterwards, we are guaranteed a Tory civil war. And as I've said, the more seats they lose, the more fighting they'll have. And one of the first things that we will absolutely see is they will all pile in like mad on Rishi Sunak, and they will put all the blame for all the election failure on him. There will be absolutely no retrospective look back at their time in power or anything like that. And the longer they do that, the more they keep doing this backbiting, this infighting, the more it serves us going forward. The more they are arguing, the more it gives us space to go out and do the things we want, like have all those progressive policies that we've said we should sort of be advocating for. So ultimately, at the end of the day, it's only going to be a good thing. The more seats they lose, the worse it becomes for them. And ultimately, my dream position is obviously maybe the Liberal Democrats being, you know, the main party of opposition. That would be fantastic if that happened. But I doubt that's going to be the case. I've said before, maybe between 120 and 80. I'd put it between somewhere there. So, as always, let me know what you think. Let me know what further gaffes have happened. No doubt I've been covering them from the pool side. But of course, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.